Hello, welcome to Bits and Biology. My name's Liz, and in this video, I'm going to play a solo game of Aqua, followed by a short review. In Aqua, you are competing to build a beautiful coral reef that will attract a variety of marine animals, both small and large. Your starting point is a hotspot, your starting tile, that gradually becomes surrounded by expanding coral formations. These corals are going to serve as habitats for small marine animals, and then by fostering biodiverse habitats, you can then create ideal conditions to attract larger marine animals. At the end of the game, the player who grew the best coral formations and attracted the most large and small sea animals will score the most points and win the game. Aqua was published by Sidekick Games and the Op just earlier this year in 2024. It was designed by a father and son team, actually, and that's an interesting story I'll go into in the introduction. The father and son team were Dan and Tristan Halstad, and the art, if you haven't recognized it already, is by Vincent Dutray. This plays 1 to 4 players in about 30 to 45 minutes, and let's go down to the table where I'm pretty much set up for a solo game of Aqua. Here we are, pretty much set up for a solo game of Aqua. All we have left to do is to shuffle up the starting tiles. And handily, on the back of each of the starting tiles, it'll tell you for each of the player counts how many tiles, how many of these coral tiles to remove from the game. So in the case of a solo game, I've already removed 19 of them. So there is our starting tile. The goal of the game is to create coral habitats, both reefs and smaller habitats, so that you can lure small animals to your habitats and also larger animals once you have enough biodiversity of your smaller animals. We will start by laying out 3 tiles to form our tile market. Now, if we were doing a multiplayer game, this would be the number of players plus 1, and everybody would choose a tile on their turn, and at the end of a round there would be 1 tile left over. In the solo game, we start each turn with 3 tiles. We'll choose 1 and then the other 2 will be discarded. The only rule for adding tiles to our display is that at least one of the edges has to match an existing coral already in your display. And as far as placing small animals, what we're trying to do is form hexagons, and once we do that, we can place a small animal of the corresponding color. So in this case, it would be a long-snouted seahorse would be able to go there. Once we have small animals that are all different in particular configurations matching the large animal tiles over here on the right, then we can place a large animal tile. In setting up, another thing that I did was I took 1 of each of these small animals, shuffled them up, and then laid them out randomly from left to right so that the animal associated with each of these ecosystem tiles is a random association. So let's take a look at these ecosystem tiles. These are going to score points at the end of the game according to certain criteria. There are 18 tiles, ecosystem tiles in the game. Some of them are repeats, so there's not 18 different tiles, but there's a fair number of different tiles, numbered 1 through 18. In the rule book, if you want to play through specific scenarios, and you can do this whether you're playing a solo game or a multiplayer game, if you go to page 9, it'll show you which ecosystems to use. And like I said, they're all numbered in the bottom left corner. 1 through 18. So we are actually playing through scenario A, which uses ecosystems 1 through 6. These are the 6 ecosystems that they suggest you use for your first game. They all have a yellow star in the bottom right corner to signify that these are the starting or the basic ecosystem tiles. All of the other ecosystem tiles are considered advanced ecosystem tiles. So anyway, if we look at these ecosystem tiles, this one here tells me that trapezia crabs, when they are placed in my display, would like to be surrounded by other species. And so they will score 1 point for each other species that surrounds them at the end of the game. Each of these other ecosystem tiles shows a specific shape of large animal tile that you can see over here. And what this is telling us is that if we manage to get, for instance, this piece into our display, for each box jelly that we have in our habitat does not have to be under this tile. It just has to be in our habitat. We will score an extra 2 points. And it works the same way for the remaining ecosystem tiles. Aqua plays over 17 rounds, so at the end of this, I will have placed 17 tiles into my display and a handful of these small animals, and hopefully at least a couple of these larger animals into our display. I've played at least one solo game where I didn't manage to get any of these. Well, it was because of the ecosystem tiles that were out. I didn't focus on these large animals. That was not a good strategy, so I don't recommend it. I did not score enough points. For each of these scenarios, it tells you a minimum score that you are trying to achieve. So we're trying to achieve 60 points. Some of them have an additional objective. We don't have an additional objective for scenario A, but you do starting with scenario D. All right, so now we can get started. We have our starting market, and I'm just going to move this rule book off to the side so it doesn't mess with the autofocus. All right, let's see what we've got here. So if we get a trapezia crab, that wants to have other species around it. We have a trapezia crab, a box jelly, long-snouted seahorse, clownfish, green turtle, one of 6 species of marine turtle, and a crown of thorns sea star, which I'll certainly talk about at some point. When I first saw the picture of this box jelly, I thought that doesn't look like a box jelly because they get their name actually from the box shape of their bell. But there are actually pictures online while they're swimming where their bell is not quite so cubed shaped. So there are pictures online that look just like this. So Vincent Trey definitely did his homework and picked a very beautiful picture to represent the box jelly. So I think I would like to start by seeing if I can match up maybe 2 of these colors, and I don't think I can, which is not unusual. That's usually how it works. They usually work just like this, where they're quite opposite of where you need them to be. Nope, let's see. Oh, this one might actually work. Let's do that. Okay, so then these get discarded. Let's set those over there. And we draw 3 more. We do have green and purple that are actually lining up quite nicely, so let's take advantage of that. This is a very tactical game, especially the solo game, because there's not a lot of long-range planning you can do when the tiles are random each time. Now, you would think that that points to a lot of influence of luck into the game, but actually, if you can pivot your strategy according to what tiles are coming out, and you always have the 3 to choose from, so it's not like you're beholden to just one. It's actually a very thinky little game, but not overly so. Still quite relaxing, in large part because of the artwork as well. Oh, look at that. We have... Okay, so we can get our first small animal in here. We're going to put a box jelly in here. And so the way that I can score, so this box jelly is now worth 3 points at the end of the game. If I can manage to cover up 2, and it doesn't have to be the box jelly, but if I can manage to cover up 2 of my small animals with this tile, which has a moray eel on one side and a barracuda on the other, it doesn't matter which side you face up. They're just 2 different sides. Very nice to have a lot of different artwork to place into your display. Okay, so these get discarded. And we get 3 more. Let's see. Wouldn't mind getting another box jelly, but what I want to get is something to where I can place this. So maybe something right there would work, or something right here would work. So either green or red would definitely work for that. Yellow over here, I'm thinking I might want to build a reef. So while we form hexagons to lure in these small animals to our habitat, reefs are formed by sets of 4 or more of these coral, and reefs will score according to small animals that are adjacent to them. So I can potentially score this box jelly twice, once for just being in my habitat and once for being next to a reef, if I can manage to do that over there. So let's see. That's a little bit opposite of what I need. Dear, oh dear. Green. I'm not liking my options here. Well, let's go for red, I guess. Don't know that it really matters which one of these I pick, but let's go with this one. Okay, so we're gonna lure in a trapezia crab. So the trapezia crab is going to score based on other small animals that are adjacent to it. They don't all have to be different. It just wants to be near other animals. So that's what this scoring tile means, ecosystem tile. Okay, so we'd bring out our next three. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, actually, it's not terrible. That's a possibility. That's another possibility. Oh, look at that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Oh, before I go on to my turn, I meant to, and I had voiced this to you, I meant to put this moray eel over these two tiles. So you can only do that on the turn that you put the small animal into your habitat that finishes that shape. So I could have left this uncovered and gone for a larger shape, but I've already got a box jelly in my habitat, which goes with this tile for the ecosystem points. So I meant to put that on there. Easy to get distracted when you are recording. Okay, and then I think I just placed this tile here. All right, discard that. So we are looking at possibly doing a seahorse there and maybe a clownfish over here. Let's see what we've got. Or we can do, so this is interesting. We can put a green turtle there, or we could just keep with what we were doing over here. So many choices, and none of them are the best. I can't line up two different colors, which is something I really like to do, but we don't currently have any blue showing, so maybe let's go for that. And I'm going to put one of these green turtles over here. And discard that. So the green turtle wants this shape. Right now I have trapezia crab, which scores for animals next to it. I have the box jelly, which will score extra because of this tile that I have in here, and now I have a green turtle. So, oops, let's see. Interesting. Let's see. So could do that, but I kind of want a pink with a green next to it. I mean, you know, that's a long shot. We do remove 19 tiles from the game, so I don't even know that I'll run across something like that. An interesting tidbit, all of these tiles are unique. I listened to an interview recently on the YouTube channel Cloudy with a Chance of Meeples. It was an interview with the father of the father and son team who designed this. Really good. I suggest you check it out. I'll try and remember to put a link in the description to that. But anyway, he was saying that all of these tiles are different, and furthermore, despite how it feels when you're playing the game, so for instance, how there's green on the left here and purple on the right, there's another tile, not necessarily of the ones that we have, but maybe in the ones that were set aside, one of the two, where it'll have purple on the left and green on the right. So that's pretty interesting to me. There's 70 different tiles in the game, and you remove some no matter the player count. So even at 4 players, you're still going to remove 1 tile. So you're never certain that tiles will come out. But that's enough procrastinating because I don't know which tile to lay down. Let's see. Maybe I don't necessarily want 2 of the same animal next to each other because I can't put a larger animal over animals that are the same. They all have to be different when you place a large animal tile. Could do that, but I was kind of hoping to make a reef. Oh, wait a second. Nope, that's still pink. Oh, man. This one's maybe a little better, though. Let's do that and place a crown of thorns starfish. Sea star. So marine scientists want us to call them sea stars instead of starfish, and sea jellies instead of jellyfish because, well, they're not fish. But it's hard to break old habits, right? So I'll probably bounce back and forth. I try to be good about the terminology. All right, next 3 out. Let's see, no pink. Yellow, we have yellow. liking that a whole lot. Blue, not loving that either, but let's see, does that get me? I need to be thinking about shapes. Let's see, if I get this one, oh, I don't even have a pink, I don't have a long-snouted seahorse yet, so that's not something I'm totally looking for. I would love to, oh, look at that. I don't know why I didn't see that. I would love to get a clownfish here and then maybe get this octopus on top of this. So this has a reef octopus on one side and a manta ray on the other. Okay, so discard those. And let's see, 3, oops. All right, so we do have a yellow. Not the best. Red, I don't have red matching up with anything. Purple, nope. Oh, I don't even have any purple and red. Blue. I do want more blue, that's for sure, because I have this shape right here, this moray eel, that will give me an extra 2 points for each box jellies. So let's do that. Right. Solo game goes so fast. I'll talk about some of these animals once I get make it through the game, because I'll get too sidetracked. I'll bring up some things here and there, I guess, probably, but it goes quick. Let's see. Of course, the purple's on the wrong side, right? Oh, wait, no, look at this. Oh, wait, that's yellow. Haha. I was so focused on purple. Those are, of course, opposite of what they need to be. But this, oh, but remember we didn't really want them. Oh, did I want this shape? No, I didn't want that shape. I don't want that shape. Green. Yeah, maybe. This isn't bad because maybe we can do a pink reef over here. So I'm going to write a blog post, and I've actually looked up all of these coral. Now, keeping in mind that there is no list, there is in the rule book a really nice page here where it has the animals of Aqua, but unfortunately it's not complete because it does not include the coral, which are animals. So it doesn't have all the animals, but it does do a really nice job. And here's a fun thing. So the son of the father and son team who designed this game is, as of that interview, which was, I think, within the last month, 10 years old. So this was actually a COVID, lockdown homeschool project. It started out that way anyway. And so they did a lot of research, looking at documentaries and things like that for the animals. And his son, Tristan, was that his name? Make sure I get it right. Yep, Tristan. So the father is Dan Halstad and the son is Tristan Halstad, and he let Tristan pick all the animals. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, they don't list the coral species that they used. And so I tried to match up. I am not a marine biologist, so I did my best. I tried to match up the pictures of the coral with pictures of coral online, and I think I got it at least down to the group that each of the 6 different types of coral is in. So I'm going to write a blog post, and I'll include that all in the blog post and talk a little bit more about some of the animals and of course, a little review of the game. So keep your eye out for that. It is right now for me the end of the semester, and in fact, I have to submit grades tomorrow. So I am actually quite busy right now. So the blog post will be at least a couple of weeks. I have to prepare for summer semester as well. So just keep your eye out for that. Make sure you subscribe to the blog. I post a blog post. I try to get one out each month, but it doesn't always work out that way. Those require quite a lot of research. I put a lot into those. So anyway, there I went off on a tangent. There's only 2 of these left, so I guess that could be discarded. What did we do? Oh, I didn't put my clownfish there. Okay. I don't want to do a shape there. I'm still holding out for a shape right here that'll benefit clownfish, or score because of clownfish. And look at all that yellow. That's what we were looking for. It unfortunately does not come with other things that we want, but let's see. Would love to have a yellow next to a blue. That would be ideal. Could always do that. Or, let's see, pink. No, the green's of course on the wrong side. Oh, this isn't though. Maybe we'll do this. Let's do this. That works. Hopefully we'll still get another yellow. We've had a lot of yellow. All right. There's another yellow. Might have to take advantage of that. We're getting low on tiles. Let's see, 3, 3, 3. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more turns after this. So maybe we better just buckle down and do this because I can't be assured. I feel like I've seen a lot of yellow in my discards, so I can't be assured that there's yellow out there. Although this is such a nice pink. I don't necessarily want the seahorse, but I do want to create a reef. So maybe let's do that. Let's do it this. Oh no, that won't. Let's do a reef like this. That way we can put a seahorse here if it turns out that's a good idea, and maybe we can put another moray eel here or a barracuda if we want to be different. Okay, so I still am hoping to get another yellow. Not this time. Uh-oh, I hope I didn't lose my chance. What do we have here? So we could put this here. I think that's a good idea. So we'll put the pink coral here and get a long snouted seahorse. These guys actually live up near the UK. They go further south than that. We don't actually know a ton about them. And actually, I was wondering as I was doing a little bit of reading in preparation for this, there also is a seahorse called the long snout seahorse that can be associated with coral reefs, although usually over by Brazil and I think China. The seahorses that are more often associated with coral reefs are pygmy seahorses and common seahorses, and those pygmy seahorses are adorable. They're less than 2 centimeters small. Their small size allow them to hide perfectly in coral reefs, and that's where they spend most of their lifetime, resting and hunting and mating and all of that fun stuff that life gets to do. Okay, so I think what I want to do here, I just placed that seahorse. Let's do a barracuda. There we go. All right, and oh, look at that. We have some yellow. I got a little freaked out when I didn't see any yellow on the last one, so I guess we better take advantage of that. I only have 1 reef so far. I do want to have another reef over there. Oh, maybe I should. Maybe I should do that. Oh, man. I don't know. No. Oh, but that gets me another. No, but we should do that down here. But it gets me maybe 2 more. How much are those going to be worth? Well, they won't be worth anything if I don't get this octopus on the reef, so I guess I better just do that. Yeah, we'll just, whoops, not like that. It won't make a hexagon like that. Let's see, can I put that purple next to purple? Yeah, let's do that. All right, we'll get another clownfish, and now we have the right shape to put this reef octopus right here, upside down, like that. That's going to get us a bonus 3 points for each clownfish we have, and we already have 2 clownfishes. Now, keeping in mind that I could only place that there because all of 3 of these animals are different species. There we go. Discard these. I have 3 more turns left. Okay. Oh, look at all that yellow. That's great. Let's take advantage of that. Maybe we can do that and green. No, we don't get any extra points for green, but I could do a reef, but I only have 1 reef so far, but it is touching 3 different animals. I don't really have a good prospect for a reef over here unless I do the purple, but that's only touching 2 animals. I do have an animal over here, but I don't know that I'm going to be able to get it underneath of a larger animal. Let's just go for the clownfish. Let's do that. We might be able to get a green reef up there for what it's worth. Okay, clownfish right there. And penultimate turn. Oh, you know what? We could do, this would do well for us. We don't, is this what I want to do? I think I want to get a seahorse and put this last moray eel over there. Or can we do a clownfish? Maybe we'll do a clownfish. They're kind of, that would be worth more. Well, that gives us 3. That's only 3 points though. Let's see. Do that. Or I could do potentially, Oh, okay, let's just stick with it. Do I want to do that? It's only 2 points. No, 3 points for the clownfish. 3 points. But if I go here, it gets me an extra 2 points plus 3 points, and that's 5 points. So maybe don't overthink it. Just go for that. Well, plus 3 points for my long-snouted seahorse. So let's do that. Should we make it a barracuda or a moray eel? Moray eel. They look cool. I have a fun thing I did when I was teaching invertebrate biology on the first day of class. I would put up a list of different animals and ask the students to just go with their gut. They weren't allowed to Google anything on their phones. Just go with their gut. Tell me which ones were vertebrates, which ones are invertebrates. And I included things like eels and snakes, things that are vertebrates, but that look very pliable, I guess is the way to say it. So it's kind of fun. Always got lots of giggles. Okay, this is our last turn. What are we gonna do? Can't make a reef. I usually don't only have one reef, but oh well. So what is the best thing for me to do? Can't make an animal over here next to this box jelly. I wish one of these was a double purple. We could have made a reef over here, but that's not gonna happen. So I could do either another clownfish, which will get me 2 points for the clownfish plus 3 points because I have that tile. Or, see, unfortunately I can't do a box jelly because right now every box jelly is getting me 2, 4, 6 points in addition to the 3. Did not plan that out very well. I think the best thing to do is to go for the clownfish. Definitely not the green turtle. So let's do that. We'll go for the clownfish. All right, that is it. So now it is time for final scoring. So we are doing scenario A. Let's see, put this where you can see it. Here we go. So this top one is scoring the large animals. So I have 10 plus 4 is 14, 19, 22. Next one is scoring my small animals. So I have to remove these so that I can see all my small animals. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them worth 3 points. So that's 15. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 worth 2. So that's 12. So that's 27 points. Give me my lowest reef score ever. I have one reef. It is touching, well, I should say there are 3 small animals around my reef. So this pink reef is because it has 4 pieces of pink coral. And so I count each of these again for a total of 7 points. I usually do much better on reefs. All right, and then we're going to come down here and score each of these ecosystems, but we only score a couple of them because that's what we had. So Trapezia crab, I forgot all about that, has 3 other small animals around it, so it gets 3 points. Here we have 3 of these tiles that are in that shape, and we have 2 box jellies. So the way this works out is we have 2 box jellies times 2 points each. That's 4, but that's per tile that we have, so that's times 3, so that's 12 points. Not too bad for my 2 box jellies. Next, we don't have that shape, so we get no points there. We do have this shape here for the clownfish, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 clownfish times 3 points. We only have 1 of those shapes, so another 12 points. And we don't have either of these other ecosystem shapes or large animal shapes. So 83 points. That's quite good. We only needed to clear 60 points for scenario A to consider it a win. So we did quite good. Well done. Nice job. These are all of our discards over here. So I'll just take a quick look at some of these animals. Here we have the Trapezia crab. This is actually a pretty small crab. They're only 5 centimeters across. And the common name for this guy I think is cute. It's a rust-spotted guard crab, and it's called a guard crab because they sort of guard the corals. They're very common in the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. They feed on, so this is kind of funny, so they're guarding the corals, but they actually do feed on coral tissue, and but they also defend the coral from predators. And even at just 5 centimeters across, one of the predators that they defend coral against is the crown of thorns sea star. which prey on stony or hard coral polyps. Now, these guys get a bad rep, but they're not invasive. However, so they belong on coral reefs. That's where they live, and that's where they've always lived, or at least as far as I know. Don't know what their evolutionary history is, but so they do feed on coral reefs. If their populations are at normal levels, they actually might have a beneficial effect on coral reef communities because they can help maintain coral species diversity. However, population outbreaks have been documented for these guys since the 1960s, and in general, populations have been increasing since the 1970s. So it's not actually really clear what's causing those outbreaks and increases. But some scientists have proposed maybe it's over collecting of their primary predator, which is a Triton's trumpet type of sea snail, overfishing of other species that prey on these guys, habitat loss leading to the decline of predators. It all ties back to the predators. Basically, the predators of this crown of thorns sea star have declined, and for whatever reason, and we think that that's the primary cause. And so their populations have exploded. And so they're actually doing quite a lot of damage to the coral reefs because their populations are higher than they have been historically. There are actually several methods that are being tested for reducing their populations, and including my favorite, which is the autonomous starfish killing robot called COTSbot. So Crown of Thorns Sea Star, COTS bot. And it kills crown of thorns sea stars via injection of bile salts. Probably not pleasant if you are the sea star, but they are doing a lot of damage to coral reefs because their population numbers. So if we can keep their population numbers under control, they actually can have a beneficial effect by maintaining coral species diversity, not letting any one species take over too much, because that's one thing that predators do, including some of these larger predators, is the more general predators, and the higher up they are on the food chain or in the food web or whatever, the higher up they are, they tend to be more generalist predators, feeding on a wide variety of species. And because of that, they'll feed more on species that are more numerous. So this works for the crown of thorns sea stars as well. They'll feed more on species that are more numerous, not allowing any one species to really take over. Unfortunately, their predators are not abundant enough to keep their populations in check. So they have grown in their population size. Box jellies, certainly probably everybody's heard about these guys. They can pack quite a punch and can be actually fatal to humans. One cool thing I think about box jellies, there's lots of cool things because, well, they're sea jellies, and so they're cool, in my book anyway, but they have true eyes with lenses. They don't make as good of images as we do or as octopuses do, but they can distinguish at least fuzzy images as far as we can tell. And they actually have 4 sets of these lens eyes. And I say set because each set of lens eyes has one eye upper and one eye lower. And we think the upper eyes allow them to see up above the water's surface to be able to navigate towards their preferred habitat, which is actually the mangrove roots, is where they like to hang out the best. So anyway, those are box jellies. And their eyes, they also have something like 20 simple eyes that can just distinguish light and dark. And then who else did I want to talk about? I really wanted to talk about the clownfish because these guys are cool. They live in sea anemones, which are very closely related to coral. They're actually in the same class, which is Anthozoa. And these guys have a mutualistic relationship with sea anemones. So not just clownfish, but all anemone fish. And in fact, they tend to be host specific. So clownfish I don't know what species of sea anemones they tend to go for, but all the anemone fish tend to be relatively host specific. And so they are actually immune to the stinging cells, the venom from the stinging cells in the sea anemones. And we don't actually know for sure, we think it has a large part to do with the mucus that coats the clownfish, and that helps them be immune to the toxin from the sea anemones. Could also be a coevolutionary adaptation as well, or maybe a little bit of both. I'm not really sure. Anyway, one really cool thing about the clownfish, other than the fact that they can live in sea anemones and have a mutualistic relationship with them as far as protecting the sea anemones, and they can feed on sea anemone scraps, but they might also actually lure small fish towards the sea anemones because sea anemones are carnivores. Hi, this is Editing Liz, interrupting this video to say that somehow the rest of the sound on this video was garbled. Gremlins got into my laptop or something, I suppose, but was garbled on the recording, and therefore everything from here on out had to be cut. What I was talking about when everything sort of went haywire was that clownfish are sequential hermaphrodites that live in social groups with a breeding pair of around 4 non-breeding individuals. If the dominant female dies or leaves the group, then the largest male becomes reproductively female, which is totally cool. Anyway, I am planning to write a blog post for Aqua. I'm a bit busy right now with the end of the semester and getting ready for summer classes, so it might be a month or more, but it will be up eventually. So make sure you subscribe to the blog on Board Game Geek. There's a link down in the description. I also had a review of Aqua at the end of this video, but that also got all garbled. And I will record a separate video with my review for Aqua, but the too long didn't read version is that I really enjoy this game. I think it's a great game, and especially for family weight game, there's also a family variant in the game that allows you to play it with even younger kids or people who are completely new to board gaming. So I really like this game, and I will record a review that lets you know my sort of in-depth thoughts on why I enjoy it so much. Anyway, that is all I have for you in this video, so I will see you in the next one. Bye!